Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, before we proceed any further, make sure you guys hit that bell notification down below so you get all the alerts, all the videos, all the interviews, and all the great things we have coming out here on True School Sports. I don't want you guys to miss a thing, so do yourself a damn favor, hit that bell notification, and subscribe to the channel. Now, listen, we got breaking news here in the welterweight division. A bit of breaking news. My boy Sean Zattel recently interviewed Derek James, the trainer, the world-renowned trainer of Errol Spence Jr. And, he was very dismissive of a potential mega fight with Terence Crawford. And I think it's very, very disheartening as a boxing fan, just as someone who loves the sport and wants to, and I'm a fan of both fighters. I've interviewed them both. I've covered fights of both fighters. I want to see this fight. I need this fight. We need this fight. The people need this fight. Boxing needs this fight, and Derek James is being very dismissive of Crawford versus Spence. So here's what he said about Crawford versus Spence. He said the following, I quote, "It doesn't make enough money, so why would we make the fight? You can't base a fight on boxing fans. Errol got 500 to 600,000 buys. What did Terence Crawford have? 30,000? You don't know what Errol got. I'm saying 600,000. Is that enough to make a fight? 60 and 600,000 buys? Where's the money going to come from? Add that up. Errol makes 20 million and Terence makes 15 million, so that's 35 million. So you think two networks are going to pay that money? It's a hypothetical fight and it's a dream fight, right? Promoters are in the business to make money. They're not in the business to not make money. And a fight that big and with a fight that big and of that magnitude, they're going to want to make money." He then proceeds by saying that Crawford needs to raise his profile, stating that, I quote, "We sold 48,000 seats at Cowboy Stadium. What country does Crawford bring? It has to make sense. Terence has to build his profile by building and building and building." Sean Porter said, okay, that would have raised his profile. Would Terence beat Sean Porter? Oh my. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't even read these quotes any further because it's really disheartening. It's really pissing me off that PBC, and it's not just Errol Spence, it's not just Derek James, but it's PBC as a whole. It don't matter if we're talking about Spence, Thurman, whoever, these guys don't want to fight Terence Crawford. They don't want no smoke with Terence Crawford. And this is a guy who has, no matter, say what you want about his resume, but everybody they put in front of him, every weight class he's been in, he has been the best fighter in the weight class. 135, he was, the world champion. 140, he was undisputed. And at 147, a lot of people believe he's the most skilled fighter in the world, but he can't prove it against the best guys because most of the best guys are with PBC, and they've all come on a unified front together to duck Errol Spence. The PBC Welterweight Witness Protection Program is a massive, massive effect, and it's disgraceful, it's disheartening, and it's not good for the sport of boxing. Now listen, I got massive respect for Derek James. I've had the honor and pleasure to interview him multiple times. I would love to do it again. I don't have his number, so if somebody can give me his number, that'd be great. But listen, Derek James, why are you talking like this? Like, why? Why are you talking like this? You are a trainer. Why are you talking like a businessman? Why are you making excuses for the fight not happening? Why are you trying to tuck Terence Crawford behind a guy and trying to make him fight a guy in Sean Porter, who I respect greatly, but he doesn't have a belt. He has no belt. And when he had a belt, he wasn't trying to call out Terence Crawford. We didn't hear Sean Porter call out Terence Crawford. So all this talk about him fighting Sean Porter is nonsensical to me. He wants to unify. He wants to fight the best. And the fact that PBC, in the telecast, they don't acknowledge Terence Crawford as a champion because they don't acknowledge the WBO is ridiculous. It's a joke. And the fact you got this guy, you got a trainer. Like in all my years, just talking to trainers. I interview a lot of trainers. I'm friends with a lot of trainers. I love talking to trainers. They're great, insightful people. And Derek James is no different. But I'm saying I've never heard a trainer in my life talk like a businessman, talking about, real liar. Errol got 600,000 buys, and what did he get? 60,000. Okay, it is what it is. We understand that Errol Spence has proven to be a draw, and I give him full credit for that. He would be the A side in this fight. I acknowledge that. He did a great number against Mikey Garcia, even though the lion's share of those buys came from Mikey Garcia. He's the bigger star in that equation, but he proved to be a standalone pay-per-view draw to a degree when he fought Sean Porter, and he did over 300,000 pay-per-view buys. So we acknowledge that. Crawford, his first pay-per-view against Victor Postal tanked and did 60,000 buys. It was one of the worst pay-per-view fights of all time in terms of buys, in terms of at the box office, and whatnot. he didn't really move the needle, you know. So we understand these things, and you know, when last year Top Rank had him fight Amir Khan, and he didn't do much better. He actually did 150,000 buys. So he improved over time. His profile has been built since the Postal fight, but he's not the A side in that fight. So I get where he's coming from, but it's the same thing. This fight's no different than Wilder Fury. Wilder wasn't a big name in America. He wasn't moving the needle in America. He wasn't selling out arenas. You know, because I've been to the Barclays Center where they've sectioned out the upper decks, handed out free tickets, selling tickets for $30. You know, to sit in the nosebleeds. I've been there on fight day. Okay, I've been there. So he wasn't exactly moving the needle either. But you know what? When he got the right dance partner with Fury, a guy who knows how to market himself, who has a good fan base in the UK, had built his profile on ESPN as well. When he got the right dance partner, it didn't matter if by himself he couldn't sell, because when he got the right dance partner, he sold. The fight was intriguing enough. The narrative of the fight was intriguing enough for people to want to fork over the money and buy the fight. And you saw with the great co-promotion of Top Rank and PBC and ESPN and Fox and all parties involved, they were able to do roughly, well, just over 800,000 big buys, which in this climate of illegal streaming and things like that, you know, I think is great. So, you know, why not make this fight? This is the same thing. You know, these are two of the best fighters in the world. These are arguably the two best welterweights in the world. You know, if nobody knows Crawford, as you say, then guess what? That's amazing, because then now when that fight gets made, it can be co-promotion like ESPN and Top Rank, and they can build the profile not just of your fighter Spence, but Crawford as well, the same way they did for Fury and Wilder. And guess what? People who never watched Fury and Wilder fight before the rematch, they know who they are now, and they became household names because of the co-promotion, because of the money that was spent in promoting the fight. So, I'm just saying, Derek James talking about this fight in this manner is very disheartening, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it makes me sick and it kind of pisses me off. So, that's my opinion. You know, these guys don't want to hold Terence Crawford, you know, because I know it, you know it, and we all know that if Terence Crawford fights Errol Spence, while Errol Spence is a great fighter, we know that Terence Crawford is gonna beat him, and beat him soundly. You know, because Errol Spence is an A-level fighter, but Terence Crawford is an A-plus level fighter, and that's the difference. So, you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below about Derek James. Take the time to subscribe, like I say in every single one of these videos. You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.